Hi, it's Tim Michelle Birdsong in New York City. I'm going to read some notes from Dr. Joe Dispenza's video. He said, when you have coherence in the brain and heart, your energy is synchronized. These are notes I took. And then he said, you change the field, you change the matter. You change the field with thoughts and emotions. You create matter, a baby. I created 5 babies that way, with thoughts and emotions. I didn't even know that was the way you created babies until recently. Then he said, 10 minutes a day, 3 times a day, trading frustration for gratitude. Open your heart. In 4 days, you can change your genes. Meditation lengthens your life, he said. They have a new lease on life. Program your children to believe the body has an innate ability to heal. Video. This is the name of the video I'm commenting on. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Transform Your Mind with Lewis Howells, the Lewis Howells channel. Dr. Joe said, you've got to become conscious of your unconscious thoughts. Lewis asked, how do we do that? Eve said, with talk and share therapy. After a little practice, one day you notice, I can know my unconscious thoughts. Say, I'm aware of accepting my unconscious thoughts and emotions as accepting them into my being as my personal reality. Did you get all that? You just say, when you realize you can know your unconscious thought, let it into your consciousness by saying, I'm aware of accepting my unconscious thoughts and emotions as accepting them into my being as my present reality. Okay? He's right about one thing. It is about becoming conscious. You sit down, be still, this is what he says, and observe the thought. Eve says, I acknowledge the thought. Dr. Joe said, okay, so she said, Eve says, I acknowledge the thought, am I owning the conscious believing of it that I do? That wasn't clear, right? She owns and acknowledge her thought, and that thereby owning the conscious belief of the thought. Okay. Now, Dr. Joe says, you're objectifying your subjective experience. Dr. Joe said, nobody likes to do this. They'd rather be texting. But I find this awareness is exciting. That's what Eve said. Said Eve. The first step, said Dr. Joe. This is Dr. Joe, right? Dr. Joe said, the first step is to become conscious. Meditation. My guru, Jesus Christ. Okay, now this is Eve talking. Eve says, my guru, Jesus Christ, being as Charan Singh, being as Gurinder Singh Dhillon, said this could be dangerous. One needs a guide for inside and outside. Meditation leads to union with God. You're dead. your permanent death. Not dying, being judged. Getting appropriate body for your new life. Example, a hippie got the body of a bonobo chimp. Endangered, population decreasing, lifespan 40 years. BBC.com Earth. Do bonobos really spend all their time having sex? Reputation. Bonobos are miniature, sharing, caring chimps, living in hippie communes with no aggression and lots of sex. Bonobos are sometimes called hippie apes. A typical bonobo has red lips, neat little ears, and a distinctive hairdo which DeWall described as an attractive coiffure, with long, fine black hair neatly parted in the middle. Note from Eve, like John Lennon. Some individuals even have a whiff of a comb-over. Note, these are the energies that we let change our society in the 1960s. Dr. Joe said, it takes a lot of energy to stay conscious. Eve said, it's easier with talk and share. Then she says, I'm grateful for appetite. I'm grateful for appetite for coffee. Because I didn't have any appetite for it all day. Dr. Joe said, I've done it thousands of times, made thousands of attempts. But when I achieved that transcendental moment of consciousness, it's been well worth it. I'll paraphrase now. Meditation, longer than 5 minutes. Okay, now this is Eve talking. Eve said, meditation longer than 5 minutes is for the person who wants to change from being human to being nothingness, to merge back into the light, the ocean of light, the eternal flame, to achieve blisters. We are talking about fire. Just like a person who wants to remain living being as a human will work 20 hours a day for lifetimes. Tesla, Einstein, T. Michelle Birdsong. Dr. Joe said, you get better at it. People have to take their attention off their bodies and go from a somebody to a nobody. Note, does he know what he's saying? Does he know he's the leader of a death cult? They are healing their karma because you can't have any karma to return to the ocean of light. However, you can access your higher powers with gratitude and lots of talk and share practice. Easy, natural pace of awareness. Dr. Joe said they can take their attention off where they are and go from a somewhere to a nowhere. Go from sometimes a life to no time, death. I'm sure he doesn't know what he's saying. Dr. Joe said all that's left is the quantum field. You can't enter the door to the quantum field. The quantum field, F-E-E-L, as a somebody. It's going to take some work for them to take off their attention, off their body. Australian researchers had her students examine Dr. Joe's brain scans, patients' brain scans. They were startled at how fast they got from being a somebody to a nobody. From being somewhere to nowhere. 9 seconds. The creative moment is when you get beyond yourself. This is Dr. Joe talking. Somewhere to nowhere. 9 seconds. The creative moment is when you get beyond yourself. Your brain waves slow down, and you are suppressing the brain waves that keep you plugged into your known reality. Eve said, with talk and share, you can face your reality, own it, see it for what it's worth, understand it, integrate it into your being, become a bigger person for it. Jesus Christ, being as Charan Singh, being as Gurinder Singh Dhillon said, there are no shortcuts. Dr. Joe said, to create matter from matter is going to take a long time. Eve said, you can do it with talk and share. Therapy. Jesus Christ, being as Charan Singh, being as Gurinder Singh Dhillon said, hurrying is satanic. Satanic. S for Satan, A-T for at, A-N for angle, I for I, C for C. Satanic equals Satan at angle, I-C, as opposed to the way God orders. You see there? He's doing what he says. Dr. Joe said, why not push that envelope? We've done this. We've done that. We've seen these dramatic changes, healings. Note, from Eve, I cured myself of claustrophobia by seeing and saying each emotion surrounding the dis-ease. When I become conscious and acknowledge each emotion, the condition was released. It was no longer necessary. It was no longer there. The karma was paid off naturally and normally. The Saint Charan Singh said, there's nothing like normalcy. Dr. Joe is going with the quantum field, God consciousness, with haste, having no idea whether or not there are any negative consequences, such as permanent death. There is possibility of leaving the human realm, taking the million years of being some of the 8,400,000 species one can be, and become a human again. Perhaps this time to obey God and remain a human, learning to be happy, be grateful, and be of service to someone is how to be happy. As a mother and father to their child, as a child to their mother and father. That's being of service to somebody. Dr. Joe said the person who's healed himself can take it to the next level and heal somebody also. Note, said Eve, they can further interfere with the system of lifetimes of justice, karma. Dr. Joe is interfering with divine retribution. He's being as a god without the qualifications. He has not slowly but surely achieved self-realization and God-realization. Repression is bad, as we know from basic psychology. A woman in Spain called the healing circle to heal her brother of a stroke. They only had a photo of him. In 1 hour, he comes back to consciousness. Eve notes that means he can return to the ocean of light, which scientists call quantum field, sooner than he would have if his karma had been able to play out normally. Indeed, the brother might not have had the karma to die a permanent death if Dr. Joe had not taught these people how to play God. God, Jesus Christ, already showed people in the first century how he could cure the blind and return the dead, Lazarus, to life. if God wanted scientists to do divine retribution and heal everybody, even those paying off their bad deeds, bad karma, he could have let that happen. What would the evildoer learn? Not the error of his ways. So he would not be at peace in the ocean of light in heaven. He would be restless. The ocean of light, the foundation of the earth, would be shaky, unstable, where people could get away with murder. Dr. Joe said he doesn't want to exclude anyone. Is he proposing taking everyone back to the ocean of light? Will there be no one left here to go on through the ups and downs of life, paying for their crimes, sins, and being rewarded for their goodness, like Mother Teresa being reborn as Prince Louis, the son of Princess Kate and Prince William? And Queen Elizabeth II, having been as Ruth in the Bible, and her husband, Prince Philip, having been as Sir Lancelot. Dr. Joe said when we're 50%, we're going to start changing children's lives. We have 3 hospitals who are interested. A psychiatric nurse put her hand on a dead child and brought him back to life. She is now going to have to take on his karma. If that boy was a murderer in a past life, she's going to have to live the life of a murderer. That's a pretty painful life. Dr. Joe is getting the bad karma of all these sick, bad people he's responsible for having healed. Does he get the form of snot in somebody's nose? NOSA. He has too much bad karma to merge back into the eternal flame when he dies. Dr. Joe said he told his children, if you can figure this out early on, the rest of your life is going to be magical. Magical. Magic. A. G for God. I for pleasure. Consciousness. Magic. A God pleasure consciousness without the prerequisite work. They never ask themselves, what's the consequence of magic? Answer, you have to pay for the unintended consequences. Dr. Joe said, I set up conditions so they, my children, would work in their lives